By the end of this video, you will have a set of practical recommendations on how knowledge brokerage teams have successfully overcome challenges. Hi knowledge brokerage friends, and welcome to this video where we'll be presenting 6 real cases of knowledge brokerage from the SSH Center project. Each case is presented by the research mentors who worked with a group of social science and humanities researchers to support a municipality with a sustainability policy challenge. Let's hear from them.
The knowledge brokerage team I worked with was looking at energy communities. It became clear during our first meeting that the researchers and the policy workers had different understandings of what constituted an energy community and different views on how the SSH researchers could support the municipality. We needed to manage expectations about how to make the most of the researchers' expertise, which was particularly aligned with ensuring that energy communities are developed in an inclusive way to support a just energy transition. As a result of discussions throughout the course of the knowledge brokerage activity, the researcher team developed greater insights into the challenges experienced by the municipality. This actually led to them shifting the focus of their outputs to look more at combating energy poverty rather than the inclusivity of energy communities. They made their outputs more applied and practice focused as well, with this including the development of an inclusivity checklist that was informed by both the academic literature but also existing energy community initiatives. Therefore, my practical recommendation is to remain open to updating the nature of your planned outputs as everyone gets to know each other better. And don't be scared to change the focus of the knowledge brokerage activity as the project develops.
During my recent experience supporting a knowledge brokerage team within the SSH project, I discovered that the outcomes of such initiatives can differ significantly from the initial expectations that one might have. Initially, I believed that we had a genuine opportunity to empower the municipality we were working with to establish a community of practice focused on increasing transport usage. However, it became quite clear that the most substantial impact of our efforts was simply actually getting the 14 key individuals from the municipality and mobility companies together in the same room. Although we still hope that the community of practice that we had suggested will be considered, the most immediate and let's say tangible outcome was facilitating this critical meeting that will hopefully kickstart a string of meetings that will generate impact. By providing the key municipal official responsible for CO2 reduction and mobility with the opportunity to gather these important stakeholders, we laid some groundwork, hopefully, for meaningful discussion and enhancing access to public transport in the long run. Therefore, whenever we do knowledge brokerage work, my practical recommendation actually is to remember that the initial step of convening the right people in the same room, even though it may feel very small, may actually prove to be one of the most significant contributions towards knowledge brokerage efforts.
The Knowledge Brokerage team embarked on a mission to help engage more citizens in the local municipality's Climate Alliance. One of the main challenges that our team faced was forming partnerships beyond the already established circles of committed actors within the city's climate mission. Essentially, they sought to involve people beyond the usual suspects. One of the ways they overcame this was through a knowledge brokerage workshop facilitating dialogue between scientists, policymakers, and other city representatives. They focused on highlighting success stories that provided inspiration and a motivation for sharing lived experiences, and this in turn leveraged community and cohesion for greater public participation. Therefore, a practical recommendation is to know your audience and use simple and engaging language and techniques through real-life examples and analogies.
The knowledge brokerage team I worked with was exploring how to deploy inclusive digital mobility solutions, working with a local municipality. One important realization that emerged through the knowledge brokerage journey was that policymaking for digital and inclusive mobility is far more complex and challenging than we in the research world might realize. For example, stakeholder cooperation is crucial for successful implementation of inclusive digital mobility solutions. But local authorities face issues with unclear stakeholder roles and boundaries, making cooperation a challenge. And in some regions, for example, Eastern European and Balkan countries, due to existing realities, physical infrastructure development is often prioritized, which means digital solutions have limited time and attention. Our team addressed these challenges by demonstrating to municipal authorities through an interactive workshop how to map digital and physical elements of an inclusive mobility system. This process took them from the needs and requirements of such a system in their city to concrete action points and a knowledge audit. One thing that everyone agreed on is that top-down, politicized decision-making with little input from marginalized groups can lead to frustration and hinder the implementation of mobility solutions. Therefore, my recommendation for knowledge brokers is to take time to understand complexities of policy work, which often involves balancing demands from many stakeholders, politicians, and the public, and also use social sciences and humanities research to demonstrate the practical value of collaborative and inclusive approaches.
The research team I supported was working with a policy team who already had experience in knowledge brokerage, including working with the social sciences and humanities. This meant it was particularly important to go deeper into the local context and past lessons learned to avoid repeating work they had already done. It also meant there was a real motivation amongst the research team to go above and beyond and produce new outputs the city would find useful in the field of resource efficiency, circularity, and sufficiency. The research team did this by spending time identifying specific current needs. They ran a survey of city administrators, conducted a literature review, and exchanges with the city administrators. All of this was done by working closely with members of the policy team, leading to a shared understanding of the needs and possible workable solutions. From this work, they identified two interrelated challenges: the difficulty of influencing citizen behavior to promote circularity and sufficiency, and the presence of knowledge and implementation silos in the municipality. Another key tool we used was inviting and involving other European cities in discussions. These outside perspectives helped both to reinforce confidence in the city's status as frontrunner, but also identify the new opportunities as the external cities presented a variety of new ideas. If you're working in a policy context where a lot of knowledge brokerage has already been done, the policy team will be used to working with research. Therefore, my practical recommendation is to work closely with them to create a solid information base and construct a shared interpretation of the situation, fostering dialogue at every stage with the municipality partners.
One of the main challenges the team I worked with faced was understanding the city context and how we could best support the ongoing process of modernization and decarbonization of the local district ticketing system. Initially, the research teams expected that the city would come to us with a set of already identified problems or needs where social science and humanities might prove relevant and useful. But it was not quite like that. During our first conversation, the city presented its district heating renovation program in a quite official way. It was informative, but we didn't get the critical aspects faced and consequently what role SSH could play. However, during the on-site visits and the workshop discussion, the team members formulated a set of interesting questions on SSH-related topics that triggered meaningful conversation and the disclosure of the barriers and obstacles that the city have faced. My main takeaway is that in contexts where knowledge brokerage is quite new, you may need to put significant effort and time at the start in order to identify the areas where you can add value. For example, an informal qualitative interview with a key individual can be really valuable. These early stages may take more time than expected. Now our trip around the SSH Center Knowledge Brokerage cases across Europe is over. I hope that the mentors have provided some useful ideas for developing your own knowledge brokerage project. Let me summarize the recommendations. Remain open to evolving your plans as you get to know each other. Getting the right people in the room can be one of the most significant contributions. Use simple and engaging language with real-life examples. Take time to understand the complexities of policy work and the specific stakeholder demands being balanced. In contexts where a lot of knowledge brokerage has happened before, work together to create a shared information base. And in contexts where knowledge brokerage is quite new, allow plenty of time to understand the situation on the ground. Thanks for watching.